Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the Broken Sword podcast.
Hello, everybody.
So, hopefully, you all tuned to episode 1. If not, what did we talk about in episode 1, James?
We talked about some things like the Rings of Power and our feelings after some time had gone past.
Yep.
And
something else.
And something else, which my mind's just gone, nah, I don't know anymore.
Yeah, no, same. We talked about the Rings of Power. We also talked a little bit with you guys. We did a little Q&A, which was nice, which was fun. There was something else too, but you know, if you want to find out, you're just gonna have to go and watch it. This week, though, we're turning our attention to the gaming world of Middle Earth.
Yes.
So we'll be chatting about games of the past, games of the present, and games of the future.
Very much so, because to be fair, there's been, I'd almost say there's a bit of a lull in Middle Earth gaming over the past few years, but it feels like things are starting to ramp up a bit again.
It does. I also want to take this opportunity to apologise. I have a stinking cold, so if my voice sounds unbearable to listen to, I do apologise. I've actually got a Lemsip right here. I'm drugging up to try and get through this, so apologies if I sound gross. But anyway, I guess we'll start with some of the classics.
Going back to the olden days,
Yes.
if you would.
So let's start with the games that would have been our introduction into Middle Earth's gaming world, and that would be, I guess it would be the Two Towers movie game.
I think actually my first was technically
The
the Fellowship. Had that one on PC. Never finished it. I remember I got stuck at something to do with the Nazgul. Can't really remember what anymore because that was such a long time ago. But yes, so I think coming into it, it was the main two.
Yeah, but the Fellowship one, I remember at the time, my introduction to Middle Earth was Peter Jackson's movies. So I remember looking at that game and going, that doesn't look like Lord of the Rings. It kind of put me off. Yeah. Obviously now, different story, but yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. It was weird that, you look back and you think, well, going to be slightly different. It was basically put out before the films to be alongside the films, but without any of the imagery. So, yeah, and now if things have different styles, it's great. But at that age, you just kind of go, this isn't right. They messed it up.
I also find it strange that the movie video games never did a Fellowship one, and that Fellowship studio never did a Two Towers of Return of the King one.
Yeah.
It's like they were a trilogy, but they weren't.
If I remember right, wasn't the Two Towers, didn't that have some Fellowship, related?
It does, yes.
You kind of do the Fellowship within Two Towers.
Yeah, I think you start in Moria, I want to say, or Weathertop. I think Weathertop it might be the introduction. So yeah, even though it was a Two Towers game, it did start off in the Fellowship story. We did, I'm sure, Weathertop, Moria, because I remember the Watcher in the water.
Oh yes, yeah, that was one.
And the Cave Troll, and you also do Amon Hen.
Yes, I remember Amon Hen very well. I can remember the very beginning of the mission where you start kind of at the top and you go down that path. That I remember as clear as day. That's about it though.
Really?
I remember there was a couple of orcs that came up on a higher bit that you shot, and then you made. But that's kind of it. But I can't remember much more.
I feel like I remember it quite well. It was a game that I love and a game that we have since gone back and played. Although we did a lot more on Return of the King a couple of years ago now. But yeah, they were just ahead of their time. They were games that were ahead of their time. Seeing as James has brought the image up, we'll move quickly on to the Return of the King. Yeah. As it's essentially part of the same series. So,
I mean, this, obviously, assuming you're watching as well, not just listening, the image on screen of the character selection is just it just brings back so many memories.
Yeah, and it's funny. Just on my left here, we actually have a big TV screen, essentially, which is used as our second monitor. So the image that you guys see here on the screen is literally 50 inches on the left of us. And when I came to sit down in this seat, James had got this image up, and I sat down and I had this wave of excitement when I looked at this screen, who am I going to be? But no, it's just a still image.
Can you remember who was your favorite character to be?
Oh, I was always Aragorn.
I feel like Legolas was the one for me.
Yeah.
I remember his shooting was just insane. Basically a bit of a cheat code by the end once you'd unlocked everything.
Yeah.
Can't really remember why.
I think you can shoot multiple arrows at once, right? And it takes a while, but you eventually unlock Faramir. So I remember enjoying Faramir as well, because if you know me, guys, I'm a ranger guy. I like my rangers. So Aragorn and Faramir were the ones for me.
Yeah, thinking about it, though, Faramir was a very random addition.
He was, yeah.
Because it's the Fellowship and then Faramir. Was there anyone else?
No, you got Pippin, Sam, Merry, Frodo, Gandalf, Gimli, Legolas, Aragorn, Faramir. I guess they wanted a full fellowship, a full 9, but Boromir had sadly passed at this point in the story, so they were like, let's just chuck his brother. He kind of looks the same.
I guess he's kind of another archer in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, yeah, thinking back now, that it does seem quite a random addition to have had him, but no others, like an Éomer or a Theoden or someone like that as well.
Éomer would have been a good addition. Now, I know we played through this game recently. I say recently. Probably about 2 years now. We streamed...
It was pre-COVID.
I think it was, yeah. We streamed about, I don't know, I want to say about half of the game on History of the Ages. Now, taking that out of consideration, what do you remember most about this game? What sticks in your head? I know what it is for me.
What, like a level or?
Yeah.
The one level that always... Actually, no, there's 2 things that stick in my head.
Okay.
The one mission is the one that we used to always play on repeat, where it was...
in front of the gate?
Yeah, in front of the gate, where you kill them at the barn, then you have to go up to the top and open the gate and all that. That one I remember, like the Two Towers moment. Like, it's there in my head.
That was like the booster level.
Yeah.
You level up on that level.
Yeah, that's where you get a good amount of kills, get good kill streaks. It was the fun one to keep replaying. But I also remember the frustration of trying to do the Gollum level at the very end on multiplayer. Yeah. Because for some reason, multiplayer made it impossible.
Yeah, that's exactly what stuck in my head as well. I remember the 2 of us going through that game. Literally, when did this come out? 2003?
Yeah, it's gotta have been. I'm pretty sure this came out before the movies.
Yeah.
And obviously there was like spoilers and there was like behind the scenes like bonus clips and all things like that. And it was all these like, but what? What's this all mean?
It was crazy. But yeah, I remember the 2 of us trying to do that Gollum mission at the end and just having unbelievable levels of frustration. It was just crazy. So yeah. Trying to take a quick look at the comments as well, guys, while we do this. A few people here. Matt, what's up? John, how's it going? We'll definitely get into the comments in a bit. Any super chats we will, of course, address, and we'll get into a Q&A after we've talked about the games that we want to talk about. Now, the other thing I want to talk about Return of the King is the bonus content. You already mentioned it, but there's, in my opinion, at least to my knowledge, there's not been a game like that since, where you unlock bonus content from the actors from the movie. It was so cool, because this was a movie game, and I'm going to put it out there, probably the last great movie game.
Ooh.
Come on, name me one that tops its in.
The only other the movie games that came close were the Harry Potter ones.
Yeah.
Although technically they weren't so much of them. Those are hard because they're not like, I feel like it's direct movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
they got bad towards the end. Like, it was the first couple that were really good.
For sure. But they had this unique way of showing you bonus content, and I still remember the bonus content to this day, and probably haven't watched it since we were first like going through this game. You're talking 19 years ago.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because it's all stuff that was on the extended editions in the end, wasn't it? So
it's like the Hobbit's gaming.
Yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I just remember
which one's X.
Yeah. It's which one's
just fantastic. They don't make them like this anymore. Can you guys imagine a remake of this game, Unreal Engine 5?
Oh.
John says the Avatar game is pretty good. Never played it.
No.
Not a fan of Avatar, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's a bit...
I saw the trailer for the new one in the cinema when I went to see Black Adam. Watched the whole trailer and I was like, I just couldn't be less interested. I really couldn't.
Yeah, same. I'm really just... I've never got into Avatar in that way.
Jonathan says, not the last great movie game. Lego Lord of the Rings is peak.
Oh, the Lego games.
It's true. It's true. But they sit in a world of their own, I think.
They do, and I'm actually ashamed. I've forgotten. I have no image ready for Lego. I didn't.
Okay.
That one completely slipped my mind, and I'm ashamed.
You should be. Should we slip that one in now and talk about Lego Lord of the Rings?
We could talk about Lego Lord of the Rings.
The interesting thing about Lego Lord of the Rings, and we hadn't planned to talk about this one, so this is off the cuff, is I believe, and please guys in the comments correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this was the first of the Lego games to actually have voice actors and dialogue. I think before that it was just kind of sounds and...
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Ooh,
it was like almost the
interesting.
first cinematic Lego game.
Yeah. Ooh.
I don't think there's been a bad Lego game, if I'm honest. All the Star Wars ones are great. The Indiana Jones one, the Hobbit ones. What else has there been? Is there an Avengers one?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah, they've done a fair few.
They do
of them
everything.
Now. Yeah.
But yeah. Lego Lord of the Rings is peak gaming. Okay. While we're on sort of PlayStation 2, original Xbox, GameCube sort of era, let's bring up a couple other games from that time. Now, one that stood out to us, which we played the hell out of, and is still, if you ask me for a list of my top 10 favorite games, this is probably still going to make my list, and that is Lord of the Rings, The Third Age.
Oh, that just... It was a game that so many hours were taken up by.
Yeah, the best thing about this game for us at the time, I think, it was new characters. You know, it was a different perspective on Middle Earth at a time that we were familiar with, which is something that I was a huge fan of. We knew the Lord of the Rings films like the backs of our hands, so getting to see it from a different perspective. I'm trying to think of the names of the characters now. Is it Berethor?
Berethor.
Idril?
Idriel.
Yeah.
Hadhod?
Hadhod.
Or am I thinking? No. I might be mixing things up with War in the North now. Because that's the thing. War in the North, obviously we'll kind of come on to that more in a bit, but that took this game and like...
Yeah, it was almost the next...
When the next stage kind of thing.
The modernized version of it.
Yeah, but this one was like... This was the classic RPG, like the proper turn-based, collect your items, like make yourself wear some random armor because it's great stats-wise and stuff.
Eridan. No, Eridan's War in the North. Is he not? Yeah,
Oh.
Eridan's War in the North. Definitely. I remember because we did the playthrough and the first episode was called Eridan Forgot His Weapons.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Which was you.
It was.
Aha.
Hadhod. John says, yeah, okay, Hadhod.
Okay.
I think you've done the same as us, though. You've confused War in the North with Third Age. Oh, hang on. Hadhod, Elegost, Idriel, Berethor,
Morwen. And I always forget the Rohirrim.
Yes, they all sound right, though. Elegost, Idriel. Yeah, okay, thanks.
Because weren't these the ones that they put into battle for Middle Earth, if I remember right? Remember when they added custom heroes? Like the custom ones already pre-built.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure were the heroes from this game.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because they would have both been EA, so that's probably why.
Yeah, definitely right there.
Yeah, this was just like it's a weird one because if they release this game now, I wonder if you get people going, well, they're made up. Like that wouldn't have happened at the same time as the story and those kind of things. Or do you think people would just accept it?
I don't know.
I feel like people are less willing to just go along with, like at the age when we played it, we just didn't know any better really. So it was just fun and you could turn your mind off completely. But yeah, I'm always curious with that, how people would react to that kind of game now.
Yeah. I think the turn-based stuff, for me, I don't know. Like, the additional characters, the new characters, the different perspective, I would love.
Yeah.
Same reason why I like the Shadow of games. Like, I just enjoy that.
Yeah.
To me, it's just fan fiction, and I love fan fiction.
Yeah.
As long as it's done well.
No, we're not doing that today.
No, we're not doing that today. Yeah, but the issue I'd have with playing this game now, I think, is the combat system is turn-based.
Yeah.
And I think I prefer the War in the North style combat gameplay. It's a bit more fun. It's a bit more open, a bit more free-flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I find, like, I remember with this game, I feel like it's the case with a lot of RPGs, is early on it is quite a challenging game, or it was, as far as I can remember, but it's also one of those that by the time you get to the end, you become so overpowered. By the time you get the best weapons and all these things, like, I feel like it's one of the... Like, actually, I remember, because it's one of these games, you could go back and play it again with all the things you had gained from the time you played before. So you can basically start again with all, like, the best weapons and armors and stuff. And, like, obviously, it just makes it a bit of fun. But I miss games doing stuff like that.
Yeah, so do I.
Like, Force Unleashed was always a good one. Yes. When you could just go back to the first mission and just start picking up all
your force powers.
Yeah, all the stormtroopers just throw.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Force Unleashed.
Like, we're talking about the prime era of gaming, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Between, like, this and Force Unleashed 2, there were so many good games. I know Force Unleashed is Star Wars, not Lord of the Rings, but we're just talking the era of gaming.
You just have to appreciate.
It might just be our age.
I think it is.
We're at an age now where we play a lot less games. I mean, I still consider myself a gamer. It's just finding time to game now is so difficult. I'm seeing comments about some great games, and we'll definitely get to them. But I think while we're on this PS2 era, I think next would be... Was Conquest PS2 or Xbox 360? / PS3?
I think it was 360.
That's probably what we're up to now anyway.
Conquest.
Let's address Conquest anyway.
Okay.
So Conquest was essentially, if you guys remember, it was essentially the Lord of the Rings answer to Star Wars Battlefront, which at the time was hugely successful. Well,
Thing is, because of these mics, no one heard that.
did it break?
No, we're good. We're good.
Phew! I love this thing.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't even heard it, but that really made me jump. I felt my soul just jump out of my body a little bit there.
We're okay.
Okay. Anyway.
What was I saying? Conquest. Yes, it was the answer to. Oh, you did hear it. It was the answer to Battlefront. I can't remember if it came out after Battlefront 1 or 2.
I think after Battlefront 2, because I remember playing Battlefront 2 like a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, same.
And I feel like if this had been out first, I would have probably played this more. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's got to have been.
Now,
It's got to have been later.
the best thing about this game is the image you can see on screen right now. Some of the coolest art there's ever been for a Lord of the Rings game, I think. It's just epic. And still gets used, and I see it posted everywhere, even to this day. Now, although this game I thought was a load of fun, it definitely wasn't Battlefront.
No, and I think, like, I have to admit, I never really got into this game. This was one that a lot of people seem to have enjoyed a lot more than me. I feel everything it says it is and what it is, like, that's what I would love in a game, but something just never, I don't know, something just never worked for me with it. I'm not sure. I think maybe I wasn't good enough, so when you tried online, I was just awful.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, it was just makes me think that is after Battlefront, because maybe it was the Battlefront was what it was, and this just couldn't match it, and that just kind of affected my enjoyment.
I know what you're saying, but I think for me at the time, I was so desperate to have a Battlefront in Middle-earth with the characters that we got to play as. Like, getting to play as a Minas Tirith warrior, and then, going on a streak until you get to play as Aragorn. Like, that was a dream at that age. And I would, like, again, we're probably going to say this about every game, but a remake of this.
I mean, they rebooted Battlefront, so I don't see any reason why they wouldn't or couldn't, apart obviously rights, I guess, is where it all comes down to, why they wouldn't do it with this and it be good. Because I feel like there's been enough since to learn how to balance the game better and make it a more all-round enjoyable experience. Because as far as I'm aware, with the reboot of Battlefront, people are still playing that quite a lot now.
Yeah.
So surely there's room for a Lord of the Rings one as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially because they could introduce like the Hobbit characters and then some out of the films. I don't know if they could.
Rings
really.
of Power characters. So we'll get to this when we start talking about the future of Middle-earth gaming. But there is a remake going on for Conquest.
Yes, and what's it, Unreal Engine
5,
whatever number.
But it's there we go. John, have you guys not seen Conquest Reimagined? So I was talking about it, but I believe it's fan made. It's not official, right? So
yes.
However, the footage I've seen like some set location tours, like virtual tours. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It looks incredible.
I mean, we'll get onto this, a similar kind of thing when we get onto debatably the greatest Middle-earth games ever in a minute. But something that with this whole Conquest Reimagined thing that worries me is it feels a lot like and again, apologies to those who don't like Star Wars, but going back to Star Wars for a moment, is the Knights of the Old Republic remake, the fan-made one that was being made. They were releasing bits of like the towns and the underworlds and stuff, and it all looked so good, but it got shut down.
Yeah, Disney were like,
Yeah. So,
however, what gives me hope is the reason they shut that down is because they were doing their own official one.
Yes, there is
came
that.
to light later. So now, if this Conquest Reimagined gets shut down because they're doing a official remake, I'd be okay with that.
Yes,
but
because the only thing, because obviously at the moment we've got, and we'll get onto this with the current state shortly in the future, but obviously with Embracer Group taking over, it'll just be a thing to see if they want to come in and kind of, it's their games or no games, or if it's you know what, we're not doing that, so go ahead. And also, here are our other ones. So I'm hoping it does not get shut down. I mean, I can't imagine how many hours have been put into that by like so many talented people. So to have it shut down would be awful.
Yeah.
But it just worries me that they'll just get one person in a position of power looking at it and going, actually, no, you know what? No. We'll shut it down and then we'll make one. Whether it gets releases now.
Oh, so Rogue198 said the official KOTOR remake is dead now as well.
No.
So we're not getting Revan? Oh, no. That sucks.
Awful. But yes, as for Conquest, shall we move on?
We'll move on. It was a great game, but
Okay.
it didn't hit the levels that it could have.
Okay, now these next ones are hard. It's hard to argue they're not the greatest,
You won't hear any arguments from me.
but it depends because we got 1 and 2.
True.
Should we count them as 1? Should we talk as?
Yeah, let's just talk about it.
Okay, I'll bring up a nice little poster for number 2 then. So we have the Battle for Middle Earth. Now I remember getting this. Well, the first one, all those years and years and years and years ago. Bought it from W.H. Smith, no less. I remember it vividly.
I remember as well.
And I remember one of our better mates from primary school, Alex, had to show me how to play it properly because I had it and I was just I just couldn't I could do stuff, but I was never winning, and it's
Such a different style of game than what we used to
yeah.
play.
So I remember being shown it, and when I started, it was one of those I remember he showed me how to do it. This is such a random story, I know, but he showed me how to do it, and then left it with my defense amazing, just earned loads of coins while we went to take him home. Came back, and then I built up this ridiculous army and destroyed him. And from that moment, I was like, yes, this is it.
This is.
I
the game for
understand
me.
the game,
Yeah.
and this is the one. I could just remember that so well.
One of my favorite things about, and this is specific for number 2, is the online. So
Ooh.
me and James we'd hang out when we were younger. I'd probably say teenagers. We would probably be spending 4 or 5 hours straight playing Middle Earth strategy battle game, which of course we could get to as well. It's a different type of game for Middle Earth. It's a tabletop game. You can see us play it on the Tabletop Alliance. Shameless plug. So we'd spend hours playing that, going back and forth, having different battles. And then James would go home, or I'd go home, and we'd be like, buff me? And then we'd just go online and we'd battle each other virtually on Battle for Middle Earth 2 instead. I remember it got to the point where it was ridiculous because we would both just be building loads and loads of archery towers.
We'd always go okay, we got 10 minutes, yeah? 10 minutes to build defenses. Okay, build. But it was also back in the days of MSN Messenger and stuff, where it'd be jump on Messenger, be okay, you ready? Yeah. Then it was whichever room you're in, okay, join. Yeah, we're in. Onto the chat, onto the game, and go.
Good times. They just don't make them like that anymore.
No.
It's crazy thinking how much gaming we used to do back then. To look at where gaming is now, where we could jump on the PS5 and talk to each other through the controllers.
Yeah.
We've never done it.
No. Well, they don't have games like this.
It's true. It is true.
Which would you rather do? Be playing this or breaking your controller playing FIFA?
Yeah. Let's not talk about FIFA. But what is it that makes Battle for Middle Earth so great? 1 and 2. Is it just the genre of the game, the style of the gameplay? Or is there something special, something extra about it?
The first one was what it needed to be. You followed the story of the ring. You got to go see a bit off to the side. Obviously, do a lot more of the Minas Tirith type, Gondor missions and stuff. And you could just build up your armies in the way you want it, but take it in a way that you can make Gandalf survive, you can make Boromir survive, and you could level them up and make them into these great heroes that help you win the war.
Yeah.
And it was there was strategy to it. Admittedly, after a point and your army's that strong, it's not too difficult. And then you get to the last level where it doesn't matter how strong your army is, they all just get wiped out wave after wave anyway. But I don't know. I just found it had such a replayability factor, which I guess that kind of game, it doesn't rely on the campaign where, a Third Age, obviously that's just your story.
Yeah.
Where this, you had the story, but you had the other ones as well. And I guess it was because it's almost like a never-ending what if.
Yeah.
And that's always fun.
Yeah. When it went to Battle for Middle Earth 2, it was just so much more freedom.
Yes, that was a big change, yeah. As soon as they opened it up to being able to build anywhere. And it was the war in the north again.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something just about that subject, but it makes good games. Obviously, we have the war in the north game, which we will get onto. But this was the first one, I believe, to really cover that area.
Yeah, I think it was. It's just a good setting for games because it's something we're not too familiar with visually. So we've had 2 games that are set in that war, and it's just fascinating.
And remember, you're given the chance to be great heroes like Dane and Glorfindel and people like that you kind of know of, but you never really get to see much of. And now you get to control them and lead armies with them. It's just, beautiful.
It really is. I don't think I'll ever find a game as close to perfection as Battle for Middle Earth 2.
No.
And Rise of the Witch King too, the expansion.
Yes, of course. I mean, you have all the mods and stuff as well. You have the Age of the Ring mod. You have the Adine mod. Is that the right one?
The Edine, yeah.
Yeah. And they do great at expanding on it even further, keeping the game alive today when, what are we, nearly 20 years? When did number 2 come out? What, 2006? Ish?
We're probably approaching 20 years.
Yeah, nearly 20 years later, and they're keeping like fresh life in the game is just incredible. I mean, we did do some playthroughs of that as well.
Oh, yeah. On our Twitch, which is sadly dead.
Yeah. But yeah, it just shows. Like, I mean, I remember, I think it was Age of the Ring won like mod of the year, like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
So when you think of how long that's been and everything, it's just insanity. And it shows that the want for these kind of games is there, but nobody seems to want to make them.
It's true. Well, while we're talking about games in Middle Earth and Twitch and streaming, I would love so much to be able to stream games again. Not necessarily just Middle Earth ones, but I mean, I'm assuming that's where we'd have an audience, but I really miss it. It was good fun. The old Twitch days. It was fun.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something we can look at again in the future. We've got a really nice setup. We have like a cinema room over there with our PS5 and a big mounted TV and a soundproof wall, and we never use it apart from to play FIFA.
I know. It's it's a bit shocking, really. Yeah, maybe with the hopefully future releases of more games, a bit more like, again, we'll get onto it, but I'm not too bothered about the upcoming Gollum game, so that's a bit But maybe when they focus on something a little bit more interesting.
Jack said, what about the Lord of the Rings Minecraft mashup pack? I've never really been a Minecraft guy, to be honest. So, I mean, I watched the videos of, I can't remember who it was, but the person that basically rebuilt Middle-earth in Minecraft. Yeah, that was impressive. Men of the West actually, last week, just did a charity stream raising some money, but going through, I think it's called Ardercraft. So it's still alive. It's still going. They're still building in it. And fair play to the people for doing it. But yeah, it's epic. It's a great effort. Okay, so there weren't many arguments about... there weren't many haters for the Battle for Middle-earth games in the chat. So let's move on from what we call me. Yep. And talk about some other greats from the past. Now, we've already addressed it a little bit, but we've got the Great War in the North, which again, we're just talking about how the War in the North is such an epic setting for a video game. Not just because we're not familiar with it, but because it had some epic battles. It was, and it was that whole thing of it took the Third Age, took your RPG, and modernized it for the time. And in fact, I think this game still stands up incredibly well today. So do I. Because, we played it a year or two ago when we started going through it again. And yeah, I mean, I could easily have played through it and just gone through it again and again. Like, I didn't feel when it was done that was it. I was bored. It was... No, for sure. I could have gone. I think since around the time we first started the Tolkien channel, I think we've gone through it twice. Once just in our spare time, just for fun. And then when we started doing some gaming stuff, we just streamed it on the channel. So we've actually gone through this twice in recent years. And obviously we did it once or twice back in the day. Yes. Probably solo and co-op. So we've played this game a lot. And like you said, even playing it a year ago, it still stands up very well today. This is one of the games that I wouldn't say needs a remake. And no prizes for guessing which character Jake would pick. Yeah. My boy Eridan. And also no guesses for you. You were always the dwarf, right? What was his name? He was... This was Idriel, right? Yes. Eridan, Idriel. Oh my god. Come on, guys. Who was the dwarf? Balaram was the OG. Balaram was the eagle. Yeah. Oh my god. I don't want to look at the chat. I want to remember it first. Eridan, Idriel. No. Farin. Damn it, John, you beat my brain to it, but thank you. The game actually did get pulled from Steam, as Fantasies asked. Because I remember when we looked at it, because I remember when I got my PC after having Mac for so long, I was like, you know what, I'm going to see if I can get this game, on the PC. Nope, impossible. It was only on, I can't even think, what were we playing on? 360. Yeah. Yeah, Xbox 360, that's what we were playing it on. That was from us owning it from the original release. So yes. Yeah, the good old days. Dom, sadly, it couldn't be Clive, because Clive is a legendary member of Rohan, not of the dwarven
Mm.
colony, wherever he's from.
Yeah. But yeah, again, I feel like actually no, we'll get into that in future games. I'll hold my tongue for now.
Okay. John still has it on Steam rather.
Okay,
never
so it's
played
probably
it on
if you've already got it, you could keep it, but I guess you just can't purchase it
Mm.
now then. Although if anyone does know how I could get it, that would be great. Not great for my time, but it would just be awesome.
Cool. So there's not a lot. We already kind of talked about War in the North a little bit when we were talking about Third Age, so we'll move on from that pretty quick. Let's go on to, I guess we're up to the Shadow games.
Yeah, I guess it still counts as older games, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even know what's going to count as current. Okay, so yeah.
I don't know. We could call this current, I guess.
Okay, we'll load up some shit. Okay, we'll move on to what we will kind of count as current games then, just for timestamp purposes later, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this was a game.
Shadow of Mordor is the first one. So I remember this coming out. Wait, was it this one or the second one when you went to New Zealand?
This one, the second one came out. No,
What?
sorry. This poster is Shadow of War.
Oh, right.
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. No, Shadow of Mordor came out first when I was in New Zealand. I can't remember now.
Either way, I have a memory linking those two things.
Yeah.
But yes, Shadow of Mordor, I remember playing that initially and
I'm
thinking,
looking this up.
it's here. The game that I have always dreamed of playing has finally arrived. Now, I'm purely talking gameplay. That type of gameplay within a Middle-earth setting is literally what I had always dreamed of playing. Now, of course, the storyline, I mean, I'm a big fan of it, but again, it's purely fan fiction for the most part. The actions of Celebrimbor and what he does and can do in the story is a little bit silly, but it's also pretty badass at the same time. So if you're willing to let those things go, I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it was the first one that came out.
Okay.
2014. Shadow
Wow.
of Mordor came out. 2014.
8 years ago. That's crazy. Jonathan pointed out as well the Nemesis system. Yeah, it was so good. So those of you that haven't played this, it was the same for 1 and 2, I believe. If an enemy orc killed you or an orc captain killed you, they would get like promoted and stuff, which was just so cool.
The thing, one of the ones I loved with they introduced in Shadow of War was if you got killed by someone, your friends could go
avenge
and
you,
avenge you.
Yeah, that's
So you
pretty
kind of
cool.
get notified that like Jake got killed by so and so, and it mark it on the map. So you
Yeah.
could go and be like, yeah. It's just like stuff like that you don't necessarily need co-op, but it brings a bit of online togetherness into the game. Like that, they're such nice touches.
Someone said about it playing like Middle-earth. It definitely does. Middle-earth Assassin's Creed. It definitely does play like Assassin's Creed, but
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed is also one of the greatest game franchises of all time, so it's not a bad thing.
Well, I remember before these games were even announced that we were always like, oh, if they made one of these Assassin's Creed games like in Lord of the Rings style,
Yeah.
that would be amazing. And
Yeah.
they did. They actually listened.
And it's like, it's not quite open world, but it's pretty much open world, if you know what I mean. It feels very open world. And yeah, I have very few negative things to say about either Mordor or War. I've seen a few comments already about Sexy Shelob. Yeah, it was a very strange decision. I kind of get it. It's an open-ended thing which Tolkien wrote about where Shelob could be a shapeshifter. Could. It's like, it's not ruled out. But yeah, they took it to the extremes, I think.
Yeah, I mean, also when you got the points of like Isildur being one of the Nazgul, Helm Hammerhand being one of the Nazgul, Sexy Shelob is just another one on that list. Just weird, and like you're never gonna be like, oh no, this could be the lore. This could have been what Tolkien really thought. It's not. It's just fun.
Yeah. The other thing about this is how satisfying it was. You could be approached by an army of 50 orcs, and you could just, like, in such cool fashion as well, just take them all out, and it's very, very satisfying and doesn't get old. And the fact that the gameplay didn't change too much between the two games tells you that they nailed it.
Well,
because it doesn't get stale.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Like, it just worked so well. I think, because I remember now, actually, that the game came out, I was away. Then I came back, I played it quite a lot, went away from it for a bit, hadn't finished it, came back and then finished it around the time the second one came out. So I basically ended up doing the same kind of thing. I started the second one, and because it was similar, that was the only downside of. I was just like I've literally just done the first one again. So it wasn't quite new enough for me to go, I really want to play the entire game in one go. But then whenever I went back to it, I was like, oh, why did I ever stop playing this?
Yeah.
It was just one of those games. And then probably right now, if I picked it up right now,
Yeah.
I'll go, why did I ever stop playing this?
Yeah. It's so much fun.
In fact, let's go download it now.
Yeah, like Jost just said, like one of the main points of the game is to form your own story with the orc rivalries. And that was really, what's the word I'm looking for? Like groundbreaking in a way.
Yeah. It made dying interesting.
It did. Yeah, you're right.
Like, not obviously it could always be frustrating, but you almost like, oh well, I've just made a whole new like thing for me now just because I got killed there. So yeah, let's go.
And even more fun for the second one was like I forgot what they're called on it, fortresses or castles or whatever. Where you could go and like storm them with your army of orcs that you have taken over. That was always so epic and so much fun. And when you kind of get to I have one in particular in my mind. You kind of go up to the top of the fortress. You have to fight the leader, the chieftain, the captain, whatever they were called. And if they're like really, really strong and you can't beat them, it's a case of, well, you die, right? Back to that old school grind. I've got to level up. I've got to get stronger. I've got to improve all my stats and then go back and beat them. That is something that's so important for just gaming in general for me. Like this style of game. I love the ability to be able to do that. Oh, right, I need to train harder, you know?
Yeah, like it's one of those. And I actually don't know if I'm going to be on the minority on this opinion or not. But I enjoy the grind of a game more than I enjoy having a full, like, an awesome character. Like, say, like a Skyrim. I enjoy the early parts of the game. I enjoy the low levels, the building up until the point, like, when you become, like, too powerful, that everything's easy. That's when I lose interest and I always like want to start again.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Know what I mean? Like,
I agree, yeah.
I find, like, I know a lot of people don't like that grind. Like, they want to be the best. They want to just be able to kill and do all the cool stuff. But
hence pay to win.
Yeah, hence pay to win. But I'm actually, if anything, the opposite. Like there's mobile games that we'll get onto briefly. But with those, like, I enjoy the collecting and the low levels. Not once you get to the point where you're like almost rinse and repeat, like mundane stuff.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's the journey, not the destination, that counts, you know?
Yes, very much the journey.
Okay, I'm not sure you've got an image for this, James.
For which one now?
But I was going to say, yeah, you do. Yep. So someone brought it up in the comments a second ago, but we're talking about this now because they're still releasing stuff. So this is technically a current game.
Yeah, this is the past, the present, and the future.
Yes.
So I wasn't really sure where to put this in.
We'll cover it now. Lord of the Rings Online.
Yes. In fact, the image we got is the new one that's just released or is soon to be released. I'm not sure exactly.
Now, online games they tend to be a very specific audience. Like, I tend to find that people that play a lot of online games don't play too much like story-based games, like regular games, offline games.
Yeah. Well, it's with like a game like this is like,
it's a commitment.
Yeah. And that's, we've said it multiple times actually with any past game and stuff, is this is why I can't play it. Not that I don't want to, but I have to stop myself because I will just want to play it all the time, and then you guys will get no videos.
Yeah, it's true. Especially with our addictive personalities. I know we'd get so obsessed with this if we were to play it, and we did have a stint back in the day that we were playing it. But and then again when we were streaming on Twitch, we streamed some Lord of the Rings Online, but we had to make it a thing. Right, we only go on this when we stream. Yeah,
but then it'd be like, okay, it's time to go, but I kind of want to do this next bit, so let's do another half an hour. Yeah, and it's just awful. Like, I would love to be able to just sit down for a 12-hour day and just go, you know what, just streaming this all day.
Yeah, same.
But
Josh said about watching a time lapse of someone walking all over the Lord of the Rings Online and didn't realize how big it was. It's a huge game.
Yeah, like I feel sad I haven't got to see it myself, just how big it all is, because I've just never been able to get that far.
Well, you essentially get to live within Middle Earth. You are in Middle Earth, and that's what makes this game so appealing to me.
Yes,
I'm not even fussed about the gameplay. I'm not fussed about the stories within the game.
Graphics and
those things don't bother me. I get to explore Middle Earth.
Yeah,
like what?
And you get like, you go to all the great places and see like, timeline doesn't matter here, and it's not important. Like, you can go to the Shire and see like the main hobbits, But then you can still go to Moria and meet, I think, like Balin and stuff, and things that would never line up time-wise. And you just do them all because that's just how this kind of game works. And it's just like, that's what I want. Like, if I had to basically, like, just be like a, I can't think of the right word, like build a bear. build a game.
Yeah.
Like, I probably wouldn't be far off just Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah, same for me, I think.
And it makes me sad that I just can't play it.
Yeah, jobs and kids and families and girlfriends and all that stuff really takes away from the goodness that is gaming.
Yeah.
And actually, best Lord of the Rings game was Rise of the Witch King. We've already covered that, my friend. That was on the past games. What other current games do we have then?
Currently.
Or are we moving on to the future?
Let me have a little look.
I think we're ready to move on to the future.
I guess there's that if we're going to talk about. Or we stick into more.
Yeah, we can.
We'll mention it briefly. Okay, so this is. There we go. So this is something that we've that we own, and we've looked at, and we want to play. But again, time hates us.
Yeah.
And just likes to speed up when we don't want it to. So, for those of you who don't know, the One Ring RPG is basically D&D in Middle Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a completely fan-made thing, wasn't it? So it was a Kickstarter.
It was a Kickstarter, but I think it was licensed, so it is official.
Okay, it was properly licensed, was it? I can't
so,
remember
yeah,
how
I
it.
think
I can't remember how it started so long ago.
Yeah.
And it's one of those that we've always said we'd love. Like, we always loved the idea of playing D&D. Like, that's just something that I would enjoy. I think I've played one game. Did we get 1 game, 2 games in when we did that one?
Yeah, maybe 2. Yeah.
2. But again, it all just came down to time. So,
Alex, what's up? I
Yes.
see you. We're talking about it.
yes. So yeah, this is something. And if you guys would like to see it on the channel, then we'd be more than happy to do it. We just don't think the audience is quite right for it. But if you guys could prove us wrong,
well, it's more likely to be on the Tabletop Alliance, I think.
yeah, maybe as a, I don't know, Patreon early access, or I don't know. But I mean, it'd be great to do it on this channel and being able to do some lore stuff within it and things like that. Like, got some great ideas, but those ideas take a lot of time, and sadly, it's just.
Now the thing is, we were all about we've actually got 5 copies of this. This one, in fact, Alex, who's eyeing us up in the comments, he has one of these editions. So he was going to DM for us. The problem is, they put this out, and then a year later, the same company, I believe, was like, you know what? We're just going to do a 5e, like a Dungeons and Dragons 5e version.
Yeah,
So
but they've
rather than
literally
doing
called
their
it the One Ring for 5e, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, so rather than it being a standalone rule set, they've just done their game within the 5e rule set. So we're almost better off waiting for that now. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's true, because we've had, I mean, little, but some experience with 5e where nobody's had much experience with this unless you played this. So, yeah.
Alex will DM for us. He's determined. I mean, we give you everything you needed, Al. Haven't heard from the other Alex for a while either.
No. Maybe
She's still around.
Yeah, whether we need, I forgot what you call them now. Is it one-shots? Those, like, short, one-off stories? Whether we just try one of those. Probably we'll have to do it not film just to give it a go. And then if it works, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Maybe I'll put up a poll at some point on the community tab and see how people would feel about it on this channel, if it's better elsewhere. But either way, it's Lord of the Rings based. I'd love to put it on here.
We definitely want to do it, for sure.
Yes.
Good to see that the other Alex is alive. Cheers, then.
Oh, okay.
Okay, while we're on current games then,
Mm-hmm.
we should definitely, brief mention to this, get that rule book there. So seeing as we've talked about, no, that one. Seeing as we've talked about the One Ring RPG, it only makes sense to talk about, full screen. Yeah. We may look like potatoes right now because our internet signal's dropping, but it makes sense to talk about Middle Earth, the strategy battle game, which is something we have played for 20 years now and still play to this day over on the Tabletop Alliance. Go and like and subscribe. Yeah, we haven't uploaded a battle report in about a month, maybe a little bit more, but yeah, we're currently trying to paint up everything from the new edition, which is the Battle of Osgiliath, and we'll definitely be getting a battle report out for that soon. So that's definitely something. It just deserves a mention, because it's going strong
Yep.
to this day after over 20 years. So
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely new life being breathed into it right now, and I feel like there could be a little resurgence.
Yeah, I agree. And apparently this rule, I haven't gone through this yet, but apparently they've changed some rules in here. And I've seen many people saying that this is the best rule book that Games Workshop have ever produced.
Yeah, supposedly there's a lot of what you call it, like where people have asked the questions and there's like the rules have been clarified online and they put them all into the book now. So it's not a case you got to go searching forums for them. The official rules are all in here. This is the place to read and understand the rules and kind of ignore everything else now.
Yeah. Rogue198 subscribed and liked. Now it's your turn to post some battle reports. Yeah, I mean we at one point I think we had like 30, but when we took a break from it, we came back to it, rebranded a little bit. We removed a load of our old videos, basically all the ones that we live streamed, because we felt the quality wasn't up to what we expect of ourselves. The issue is the quality that we expect of ourselves is very, very time consuming, and for what it takes to get a battle report prepared, we got to paint models normally, prepared, played, and edited is a few days of full-time work. So it's tough, and it doesn't make any money. So it's hard to give up our day jobs and do it. It's a hobby at the end. It's a passion project.
Yeah. Sadly, we're not in a financial position where we can just say it doesn't matter if it doesn't make a penny, because
we're not rich.
No.
But we did set up a thing with the Tabletop Alliance where we were producing and selling our own characters. John, if you're still here, John had a great hand in designing a bunch of them. We were selling those as digital STLs and physicals, and we figured, if we can sell some of those, it can kind of pay for us to play battle reports. I feel like we have to sell quite a lot of them. But if you want to support the Tabletop Alliance, the best way to do so is to buy stuff on our website, thetabletopalliance.co.uk. Anyway, moving on from MESBG. Let's go on. There's one more current game, I believe, which is going to have to be talked about. And that's Lord of the Rings Rise to War.
Oh, we've even got a specially sponsored video on the channel and I forgot about that one. I played that for quite a bit.
I just couldn't get into it.
No, that was the issue. I played it because it was the only thing. And this is where we kind of have had this lull in Middle-earth gaming. And it was around this Rise to War time. Like, all the trailers and footage they put out for this game, you look at it and go, oh my god, this looks incredible. And then you play it and you're like, wait, have I downloaded the wrong game? This isn't what they just sold me.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's awful in terms of marketing, in the way that you don't know what game you're going to be playing by anything they've put out about it. And I think that's wrong.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't for me. I give it 20 minutes and I was like, nah. Although there is a new one coming out, which we'll get to in a minute, which looks more my kind of thing. Also, Jack, I will answer your question. You've put, I need to know. So if you need to know, I better tell you. Are you guys friends, brothers, or a couple? We get that a lot. Which
I was about... No.
You weren't going to kiss me, were you, James?
No, I was going to just make a really bad joke on all of the above. But I was like, that just no, because the internet's just not...
No, we're just friends, man. We've been best buds for like 25 years, pretty much. So...
Back when we both had more hair.
Yeah. Right, where we are. Okay, let's. I think it's time to move on to the future of Middle-earth gaming.
The future.
Ta-da. Okay. Now, we'll start with the one that we kind of got involved with, in a way. I say involved with. We got invited for a little early... we didn't even get an early play. We got an early watch, basically.
You mean we shelled?
No.
Are you sure that's what people like to say?
We didn't get paid, just to clarify.
No, we did. No.
We just got invited to this thing. It was in Paris, which was nice. But yeah. Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Yes. What was your first reaction when you heard about the Lord of the Rings Gollum?
Are you asking them or me?
You.
Okay. When they announced this, my reaction was... Really?
That sounds like a Rings of Power side.
It was exactly like a Rings of Power side. Like I looked at the title and thought, couldn't be less interested. Obviously, I'm interested because it's got Lord of the Rings on the title. But in terms of what they could do in Middle-earth one of the last things on my list.
Yeah, very much.
Gollum's a great character. I just don't care
Yeah.
about playing as him.
Having a game where maybe there's a side mission where you Gollum doing something, like, could be interesting. A whole game of Gollum, nah. And what they showed us didn't help.
No.
And then the fact they've delayed it
Yeah.
does not. I mean, I feel like everything gets delayed these days, so I don't know how much that really says. But nah, it's just like the one thing I will give it. I love the different art designs.
Yeah.
It's a very stylistic approach.
The wizards look cool.
Yep. Thranduil and his halls and all that stuff
Yes.
look cool. Different from what a lot of people expect, but I quite like that. I like seeing a different version of things as well. I don't think everything has to look like Peter Jackson's Middle Earth, so I quite enjoy seeing a different approach as well.
We have a super chat.
Okay.
I will bring this up. From Jane Els, thank you very much. Are you guys familiar with the Battle for Middle-earth PC games? If so, do you think that they will ever be a part of the Steam or Origin library? Well, first of all, thank you for your super chat.
Yes.
And second of all, I'm guessing you've only just tuned in, because we did spend a good 15 minutes talking about Battle for Middle-earth.
Yes.
And yeah, we said that they are probably not only some of our favourite games of all time, but in our opinion, some of the best games of all time. So yeah.
Yes, 100%. They were great games 20 years ago. They're still great games today, and that says everything. Like, they're one of those games, the graphics don't matter. Story replayable however many times. And if you got the chance to play online with friends, it's so much fun.
Yeah. As for adding it to Steam, I think it's down to a license issue, so probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I would love it if it was. There are ways to get it if you use Google, but we don't condone anything. Yeah, it's gettable now. I mean, I've still got the discs. I think actually,
So do I.
I think one of our copies is over there.
Yeah, I've still got PC and Xbox 360 versions of number 2.
Ooh, I'm not sure if I got 360 anymore.
But yeah, thank you so much for the super
Yes.
chat. So back to Gollum. Yes, it is meant to be like a good or evil sort of storyline. Like, your decisions reflect his actions, or your actions reflect how the story goes.
Yeah,
But the problem is, and this was something that I remember asking during the Q&A, is we all know what Gollum's story is. So surely, no matter what decisions you make throughout the game, the outcome is the same.
Yeah, and that's the way it felt. It's just like it felt like they were trying to go down the route of Fable, if anyone remembers those
Yeah.
games, with Gollum, and yeah, go in the Smeagol or Gollum side. And the thing is with this game though, it is 100% stealth. Basically, like, you can't really like kill. You can like knock a few out, I think it was, and stuff, but it's basically all about stealth. And we've both said, like, stealth missions within a game, great.
Yeah.
Only stealth as in the entirety of the game, yeah. Like Assassin's Creed, a lot of it, like the Assassin's like culture is stealth and going unseen.
Yeah.
But you can then also go and fight your way through a city. Like,
Yeah, whereas with the Gollum game, it looks like if you get caught or you get
they-
seen, it's just game over.
yeah, they basically said like you don't fight, you don't want to fight, like you'll just basically lose.
Yeah, he's not capable. So
Yeah.
it just doesn't sound fun to me. Gollum looks weird. I don't know. It's not for me.
Yeah.
So what else have we got in the future?
Okay, so let's go sideways here then and talk about a mobile game that is still in beta phase, alpha phase. I'm not even sure exactly. When it says, there we go. Heroes of Middle Earth.
I haven't seen this art.
Have you not?
No.
Yeah, so again, I feel like this is just a common theme. At the
Look
moment.
at Gandalf. He's just flying through the air with his sword. Okay.
Is that supposed to be Galadriel or Eowyn up here?
Eowyn.
I think you see the mouse.
Eowyn.
Oh no, because I'm not on the wrong screen. There we go. Yeah. It looks like she's just ready to go and punch someone.
Yeah.
Like, they've all got weapons, and she's like, nope, I'm hammer-handing this.
Also, Sauron and the Witch King look almost identical.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, that's an unusual design. But yeah, so this, for those of you who don't know, is a mobile game that will be coming out at some point in the future. And if you know Star Wars games at all, if you know Galaxy of Heroes, it's basically the same studio basically making the same game but with Lord of the Rings characters.
Yeah, I've seen gameplay. It looks pretty much identical. Now, I know people criticize these games, but both James and I were quite sadly obsessed with Galaxy of Heroes, where we were playing it every day. It was like, okay, I'm exporting a video. I'll go and do my daily tasks on there, daily challenges. I need the toilet. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's that sort of game. It just fills the time.
Yeah. And this is where for us the collection side of things is
Collecting the characters.
But I'm unsure of the art style, I will say.
Same.
Like, looking at this as the poster, I like it. It looks cool.
But then when you see it in the game, it looks a bit odd.
Yeah, in the game, I hate to say it like this because it's probably not fair, but it looks a bit cheap. Like, the textures and stuff, it just all looks a bit But I'm hoping that's more because it's in still early phases and that will get improved. However, I do feel like it's more almost an artistic choice, and it's going to stay that style. And that may be the only thing that puts me off it in a way, which sounds stupid. But the Galaxy of Heroes for Star Wars, they did a very good job in their style. So I don't know why they didn't just do that with the Lord of the Rings one, because they know it works.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, this is one for the future. This is very much going to be a pay to win kind of game. If you chuck money at it, you'll get the best characters quick and you'll be at the top of it. Or if you want to do it free, you get the nice long grind, which
Like
again,
we talked about earlier.
Yeah, which you may love or you may despise. I think you know before you even open it if you are someone who will like or dislike this game.
I agree. I know I'll like it. If I can get past the visuals and the artistic style choices they've made, I think I'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because again, I put probably hundreds of hours into Galaxy of Heroes. Yeah, so if it's just the same thing, I enjoy it. I know a lot of people are like, oh no, mobile games, gross. Like, they're not putting this out instead of a regular game. It's just in addition to.
Yes.
So I would rather have mobile games than no mobile games.
Yes.
If there was not a Lord of the Rings mobile game, I'd be like, oh, can we not get one?
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Although I say that, I don't know. I wouldn't be that bothered if Rise to War didn't happen.
Same. But I'm not mad that it exists.
No.
You know? People get so angry at mobile games.
Oh, yeah.
It's just something extra that if you want to kill some time, it's there. And what's not to like about killing time in Middle-earth, you know? Okay, what else we got? There's only really one or two more things to talk about, I think.
Yeah, I think one of the big ones to mention at the moment is... Let me just get out the image. Okay, we have The Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. So, honestly, I don't really know too much about this game.
No, neither do I.
Apart from it's quite obviously the dwarves returning to Khazad-dûm. I'm guessing Fourth Age kind of thing, just to reclaim it, and returning it to its beautiful splendor of the once Second Age. I don't know exactly how it's going to work. I don't know if it's... I don't even know what style of game this is, to be honest.
No, I haven't.
But it's one of those that I'm kind of almost okay with knowing nothing yet. I'm just happy to know things are happening. Like, we kind of got... well, obviously the big thing that made a lot of these things happen is the Embracer Group. And they were the ones who bought the rights to the movie likenesses. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
And then they're kind of...
A survival game, okay. How does that work?
They basically... don't they get Army of Balrogs? Yeah, they basically pushing forward with trying to release more Lord of the Rings stuff. Like, one of the big things was said when they bought the rights was they bought the rights to theme parks and things like that. So that kind of thing.
Middle-earth world.
Could be incredible. I mean, especially, if they want to do it in the UK, that would be way better.
If only.
Yeah, if only. But yeah, it's a survival game though. I don't know. Like, what?
Yeah, I can't talk too much about this because I don't know anything about it, but it's a topic, it's more of an interesting and appealing topic to me than Gollum. I'll say that much.
Yeah, the thing with Moria is that we don't really know much that happens. All we know is that it gets reclaimed and it's supposed to become a great place again. So outside of that, go for it. Obviously, Gollum, we know how his story ends. Kind of know most of what happens during it. So yeah, you're a bit stuck with that. But yeah, this gives something interesting. And like I say, like I'm not bothered on things being lore accurate in these kind of games. You can kind of do what you want with them. I'm just curious to see more.
Me too. As far as I'm aware, that is all of the official Lord of the Rings announcements right now.
Yeah,
There was the Amazon-based online one, which got cancelled.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a few people asking if there'll ever be a Shadow of War sequel. I don't think there will.
No, I get the feeling after this amount of time that's especially with the rights changes and stuff now. I just don't feel.
Never say never with these sort of things, especially when there's such support in a community. Like the Zack Snyder Justice League director's cut would be the best example.
Yeah, true.
People get together and really, really have their say and say, look, we really want this. Then sometimes studios and stuff do cave. So I'd say never say never, but it doesn't seem likely.
I've completely mind blank though. The end of Shadow of War, is there any? I can't think how it ends.
He becomes a Nazgul.
So you'd almost need to be like a new character if that was a sequel.
Yeah, or you play as a Nazgul.
I suppose that could. Yeah, I suppose that could. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's a tough one. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of it. Like I remember them saying with the Embrace Group, I think it was they had 4 games in the works at the moment.
But we don't know what. We've obviously got the Bethany Reforged.
Oh yes.
And Conquest Reimagined, but they're not official.
No, they are fan projects, which, if anything, I'm almost looking forward to them the most. Which, yeah.
Yeah, same. Which probably says it all, really.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of it. So okay, let's end it. I'm going to end it with a question to you then.
Okay.
Let's bring.
We'll give 5 minutes for a Q&A at the end, but I've got to tell you guys, I'm sat right now. You can see this on a steel chair, and my butt has gone so dead. If you can't see me like squirming and wriggling about.
So send lots of super chats, and then he can't go anywhere. But yeah, okay. My question to you then is, what do you want to see as a future future Middle Earth game? I guess I'm assuming it's going to be the Lord of the Rings, like by name.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I don't think I need to tell you really.
Okay, that was good. Good answer. Thanks.
I know a lot of people will say the same thing, and it seems the really obvious answer. But yeah, there we go. Okay, just get it up, James. That's my answer. Right there. That's all I want. I want Skyrim in Middle Earth.
Yes.
That's it. I want a big open world RPG game. Gameplay similar to Skyrim, similar to War in the North. Yeah. I'd be fine with that. But just imagine it. Just
a little more open world than War in the North.
Yes.
That's the only issue.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, if they I mean, to be honest, I'm shocked I've never played a Lord of the Rings modded Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize some of it looked this good.
No,
I mean, I don't know how it plays, but it looks stunning. Yeah, it's a game and a if these things could come together, it would make like the perfect potion.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, like I see a comment there. It would break the gaming scene. It would. Like, everyone wouldn't play this game. Oh, we have another super chat.
Oh.
Okay, interesting. A Lord of the Rings game with For Honor gameplay. Yeah, For Honor was fun, but I also, I don't know, I got a little bit bored of it quite quick. But that could work. But for me, Skyrim, keep it simple. Just like one button to block, one button to swing, another button to fire a bow, and another one to do some magic.
Yeah.
I'm happy. It's the exploring side of it, and the leveling up, and the finding and crafting new weapons, and all the side quests. Like, I need this in my life. It would be huge. The other type of Middle Earth game I would like to request, if anybody's listening, with any power.
Also, sorry, thank you for the super chat.
Yes, thank you. Is Battle for Middle Earth 3.
Okay, then. If it was Battle for Middle Earth 3, though, would you like an updated, modernized remake of potentially the... Okay, yeah, okay. This is the way I'll word this then to make it a little bit easier. Would you like to see Battle for Middle Earths 1, 2, and Rise of the Witch King remade, all in the style of Battle of Middle-earth 2. So basically, you could play through number 1 in the game engine of number 2, but with the updated graphics, or would you prefer they did an entirely new storyline? Obviously, gameplay's going to be what it is, but a new storyline to it.
Oh, that's a tough question. To be honest, I don't know what the new storyline would be. It's
probably The Hobbit would be my guess.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Or they will go Second Age.
I'd rather Second Age or a remake.
Yeah, as a realistic thing. Like, I'm not saying they are my choices. If it was going to happen, I can only really see it being. I mean, in fact, I'm surprised they never did a Battle of Middle-earth, The Hobbit.
Yeah,
thinking about it now.
But yeah, that's what I would want for future games.
Okay.
Right, before my butt goes completely numb, we'll go another 5 minutes, guys, answering some questions. So if you've got any questions for us, put them in the chat now, and we'll try and answer some questions.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's chat. Let's hang out.
I know we haven't touched upon every single game. I know I've seen a couple of comments. There's like the card games. There's the Journeys in Middle Earth. There are other things, but it's just trying to cover everything at once. It's obviously not always the easiest.
I see a few comments saying The Witcher 3 would be good as well. That would be cool. A Middle Earth Witcher game would be yes, please. I love the Witcher games. Thank you very much, Chris.
Yes.
Remake Lord of the Rings, the Third Age, and remove the turn-based combat. Yeah, that's pretty much what I want, to be honest. Modern day, open world, though.
Yeah, it's like the War in the North version game engine for the Third Age, but with updated graphics. That's kind of what with. I mean, a bit more open world would obviously be lovely. Yeah. But
yeah, 100% agree there, Chris. Thanks for the super chat as well. 3 comments down.
That one?
Yep. Gage, a Polaris hoodie. Us. Yeah, we actually run the Polaris YouTube channel.
Yes.
Funny story. And we're sat inside a jiu-jitsu gym right now that we own. So our office is inside a gym. James is wearing a tatami hoodie. I saw something else there. Yeah, Hayabusa has just 2 down from what you've got highlighted. Yeah, so Hayabusa has said what I've always wanted to hear. How about this game title? The Dunedains. Open world RPG. I'm in. You have just sold your pitch to me.
Like,
I'm investing.
I think the thing that Middle-earth games can do so well without it ever seeming like a cop-out in a way is the fellowship thing. So you can quite easily always make it so you can choose if do you want to be an elf, do you want to be a dwarf, do you want to be a man, do you want, hobbits I guess are less like more easily chosen on games and stuff. But like it's that way of being able to do games but go, which one do you want to be? And rather than going, okay, you've got to be a Dunedain, you've got to be an elf. Like I like the fact you can have those options more and it make more sense. And I feel like it's a bit like the thing with Gollum. Like being stuck with Gollum, I feel like goes against it. Even if it was just think back to like the 2000 Return of the King games. Like, okay, you could only be a select number of people for each mission, but they were the main heroes, and there was a difference in each of them.
Yeah, you get the different races.
Yeah.
Hammerhand brawling game. Hell yeah. But you hit the nail.
Made me think of something like Dynasty Warriors, where it's literally just like hack and slash and everything. But you just hammerhand going around going push.
But I think you've hit the nail on the head there in what you've said. Like the majority of the successful Middle-earth games, let's say Third Age, War in the North, the movie ones, The Two Towers and The Return of the King, they're the ones that seem to have the most fond following. You know, people have fond memories of.
Yeah.
They are all games where you can pick the different, you can be man, elf, dwarf, wizard, whatever.
Yeah.
When you've got variety like that and you can change your gaming experience, you're onto a winner.
Yeah.
It's the downfall of things like Gollum. To a point, it's the downfall of Shadow of War, as much as I love those games. But yeah. Overall, Middle-earth lends itself so well to a gaming environment. And it's a shame that we don't get more like A+ games, you know?
Oh, one more super chat.
Jay Oliver, thank you very much. What about a Diablo-style game based in Middle-earth? That could also be cool. Like those sort of games, I'm all about. I saw someone earlier as well say a God of War-style game. Like, hell yes.
I have never played Diablo, so I don't actually know the style of game.
I've dabbled in Diablo just a little bit, but yeah, I never gone all the way through it. But the style of game would be fun.
What kind of game is it?
Hard. It's a hard game.
What's the start? Is it like a give me a game it's like?
Oh God,
because I literally have no idea.
I'll get you up an image if it helps. Is there a particular Diablo I should be getting up? 3, is that a good example? I think that's the most recent one.
What about a GTA styled Middle-earth?
That doesn't look like the best image. GTA style Middle-earth would be good. Yeah, kind of like that. I don't know how to describe it. I was going to call it third person, but it's not at all third
Almost
person. It's
it looks slightly Battle for Middle-earthy from that.
it's not.
but
It's kind of an in between.
Yeah.
Chris, have we seen the Lord of the Rings Conquest fan remake? My words are going now. Yes, we did talk about that earlier. It looks incredible. I'm actually more excited for that than I am anything else.
Okay, top-down RPG. That's the best way. Okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not like Buff Me though.
No.
Yeah.
I can get it from top-down RPG.
Okay.
Mouse click to move. Yeah, that feels more like Actually, no. I suppose that's too much like Buff Me. Yeah, no. I know what you mean. Okay, I'm caught up. Okay, there's only one more type of game I want to just very, very quickly mention.
Okay.
VR.
Ooh.
Lord of the Rings. Now, not sure how. Obviously, it's not. The technology's not quite there yet.
No, I meant to bring this up because there's blades and sorcery.
That's kind of what was making me think.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I don't know exactly how. Just some kind of VR Middle Earth game experience would be amazing.
I'm in. I mean, if any of you guys have, I think it's called Blades and Sorcery. It's something like that. They're still kind of working on it and improving it, but I've played it. It did make me feel a little bit ill because it's almost so realistic. It freaked me out a bit. I've only played it in my bedroom. I need to bring it to the gym and play it in a big area. But yeah, I've seen mods of that online and the things people have done with that game. It's crazy. Like you can shoot an arrow at someone, you can run over their body, pick the arrow out and shoot it at someone else. Like it's nuts.
Yeah, I almost can't get my head around how something like that works because it's just too clever. And I've just noticed it now, and I'm just going to point out to everyone else here, Gondor, Gaud.
Oh yeah,
Gaud.
Gaud. All right, guys. This has been fun. This is the second episode.
We've been 1 hour 11 minutes.
Of course we have. Yep. It's about the standard time for our podcasts. I'm really enjoying doing these. Doing podcasts live is fun.
Yes.
There's a lot of pressure to do these live streams, especially when these are podcasts that are re-listened to after. You were saying?
I just want to say, for those of you who are here, shall we tease on what next week's going to be? Because we've been playing about with it a bit today.
Oh, yeah.
Shall we do it? Or shall we just...
Yeah, we could.
Okay. So, our plan for next week, and this is why you all have to be there, is we are basically, and bear with us, we are going to recast The Lord of the Rings. Okay? So we're going to do it like today, if it was going to be made now, how we would cast it. But we will have a twist of we are going to AI art the casting choices. So we're probably going to come up with a couple of like, we'll pick some, have a poll for each character, go through like the fellowship, pick them that way. Then we're going to AI art the winners. And at the end of it all, probably won't be able to do it on the stream, but like on the community tab or something afterwards, we will end up with our pictures of our fellowship. Yeah,
but we definitely will bring up some ones that we've done already. That they are, honestly, guys, you are gonna. It's just so funny.
Yeah,
we couldn't breathe earlier making these. It was hilarious.
Shall I try and show one?
We'll show one very quickly.
I'll see if I can get this up. You may need to.
I think maybe.
For a minute.
Yeah, I'm trying to think which would be the best one to show. I don't want to give one. Don't give one of the better ones away.
I mean,
bear with me.
I feel like. I'm sorry, the app just closed.
There's one that I kind of want to keep.
I feel like we got to do that one.
Oh, but that's the best one,
but that's not probably going to be chosen in the video.
No, but it's so funny. All right, show that one then. Okay, so this, guys, is John Cena. That's John Cena as Legolas. You can't let him guess because you're covering it.
Oh, that's true.
Not covering it, rather. Yeah, so...
Yes.
That's a very realistic one. Some of them are so funny. I see Joss has just put out Danny DeVito as Boromir. I mean, we have done a Danny DeVito.
Yeah, Danny DeVito has been certain people. But yes, that's a teaser for next week. And that's why you all have to be here, because you have to help us choose on who wins and who gets AI arted into these characters.
Yeah, trust me. It's funny. It's so funny. So next week's episode is probably going to be quite a lot of laughing. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these podcasts. I'm hoping they're re-listenable to as well. So those that haven't tuned in live, hopefully we're engaging enough to listen to when it's not live. At least that's the idea. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you all for joining us today. My butt's gone very dead. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you next time on The Broken Sword.
Bye, everybody.